Hey, what's up, John? It's your boy Mike. I'm doing a video today about the Super Famicom. So Famicom was the name of the Nintendo in Japan. It was the family computer. So when they came out with the Super Nintendo, their Super Nintendo was called the Super Famicom. So it's become a problem here uh, in Texas because our buddy Doug, who runs a video game store in Las Vegas, he was at Retropalooza. He's there every year, and he's always selling really cheap Super Famicom games. He's got a hookup. He's got a guy in Japan, and he's got a little workaround on the shipping to get him to the United States. So he has a good deal on Super Famicom games, and he was selling the systems. I got one right there, hooked up to the TV. He's selling the systems for $60 for the system with the controller and the cables. So and the games are really cheap. They're between $5 and $10 depending on how many you bought. He would break it, give you a deal. So my collection right now is really basic. I was just trying to get stuff that I knew would be fun. I didn't even get any exclusives. There are some games that I've had in the past that I do want to get, and I'll go over my wish list in a minute. But right now, I'm going to show you guys what I have. So obviously, I love Nintendo, all things Nintendo, first party Nintendo. So started out here we got a Super Mario World, and this one's cool. It has these cool uh, cassette tape case. I just like this case, so it's really cool. But yeah, Super Mario World. This one I picked up at D-Pad, which is New Braunfels, and looking at it, I didn't even really know what it was. And if you looked at it, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you probably wouldn't know either. It just looks like a random rainbow castle game. I don't know. It's got an island. It's kind of whatever. This is actually Super Mario Land 2, Yoshi's Island. So the artwork's pretty vague on here. But if you ever see this one, pick it up. Amazing game. Amazing graphics for the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo system. Really good. Then this is a trilogy of games that I got. These I picked up from Doug and one I traded for. But got Donkey Kong, Super Donkey Kong. Amazing graphics as well. Then we got Super Donkey Kong 2, which has the best soundtrack according to AC, and Super Donkey Kong 3. So I got all three of those. Really happy to have those. This game's really cool. Lemmings. This is a really cool game on the Super Nintendo, and I have a lot of memories of this game. Um, my friend growing up when I was in like sixth, seventh grade, one of my friends was this guy named Perry, and his dad was an architect, and his dad had a computer. I believe it was a Tandy. He had like a Tandy IBM clone, and I used to go over to their house all the time, and we would go. His dad had like an office in the back by their garage, and where he did his architecture stuff, and we would get on the computer and we would play Lemmings on there. I have a lot of fun Nintendo memories at Perry's house. He also had like the Nintendo pad, the power pad. Yeah. So here's another one. Awesome. No translation needed. F-Zero. So this game's great. Another like one that pushed. I think this was a launch title too for the. Um, it says copyright 1990. So I think this was a launch title for the system and really pushed the graphics with that Mode 7 graphics. I don't know the name of this one in Japanese, but you can see Kirby on there. This is a Kirby Bowl. It's kind of like it's not like the platformer game. It's like the puzzly kind of game with the bowl. This is another one. I looked at it and looked at it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I tried to Google it. It's kind of hard sometimes to figure out what the name is. But I saw Capcom on there. But yeah, this game is Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is a super hard game on Super Nintendo. Very hard to beat. And it's still hard on the Super Famicom. You don't necessarily need English to read it. The opening sequence is really cool. If you ever have any of these games and you can't figure it out, they usually have that little code in the corner. It'll say SHVC-CM, and each game has a different code. And if you look those codes up, you can usually find type that code in and type Super Famicom, and you can usually find the game. Here's another one. a real American title, I guess, but Mortal Kombat classic. I wanted to have it on the system. Oh, this one's been modded. You could see somebody put little cutouts in the back so they could play it on their NES. I just noticed that. That's funny. So yeah, these don't fit on a regular Nintendo, the regular Super Nintendo, but if you put these little cutouts in the back, it will, because the normal carts look like that. And so if you drill from the hole down, you can play these on a regular Nintendo. But I don't recommend destroying the game like that. I would recommend just getting the system because the systems are cheap. Like I said, $60 for the system. Here's another real. Well, I guess this isn't really American, but Super Street Fighter 2. Um, there's like four Street Fighter games on the system. Alpha Third Strike, I think, is the most valuable one, about $40. But these games are all like 20 and under. But one of my favorite um, Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games is Street Fighter 2. This game's a classic four-player. I guess that gives it away. Five-player game from Hudson Soft. It's a Super Bomberman. Amazing graphics and a really good puzzle game. It's fun to play single player, but really fun when you play with a group. You can have a lot of fun. Here's another, I would say, real American title is NBA Jam. Classic NBA Jam. It's just the same as our version. Uh, it's got all the same teams and characters and everything. I believe they also had a tournament edition. And then here's another game I picked up is a Konami game, Tiny Toon Adventures. This game's really fun. Underrated game on Super Nintendo and on the Super Famicom, I believe. I think Tiny Toons is a really fun game. So as far as games, I went through and I have my wish list of games that I'm trying to find. I realize a lot of these are going to be really hard to find, and maybe some of them I don't want. If they're not the right price, I don't want them. But Axelay is one of them. It's a really good shooter. I love shooters, and Axelay has amazing graphics. It's like a good demonstration of the system of the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo. Axelay is a great shooter. Uses the Mode 7 graphics. Then there's three of the Mystical Ninja games, Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Those games are pretty fun, and so I wanted to get those, and they look like they're pretty cheap on the system. I think there's a two and three, uh, at least that I can see, and they're called like Goemon. So I wanted to get those. Then another one is Gokujo Parodius. Parodius is an awesome shooter. It's like a parody of Gradius, and they had it on the Game Boy. I used to have it on Game Boy, but it's on the Super Nintendo. So I want to get. There's a couple Parodius games, so that Gokujo Parodius is one. This is another game I think I definitely need to get on Super Famicom is Hagane. Hagane is right now it's the most expensive game on the Super Nintendo. It's about I think going around $3,000 right now. You can pick it up on Super Famicom for under 100 or like 120, under 100. So I think I definitely want to pick that up because that'll be the way that I can play that game, and you don't need a whole lot of translation to play it. Then there's another Parodius game, Jikyo Oshaberi Parodius. Yes, I don't know. Check that out. There's a puzzle game that I want to check out. It's pretty cheap called Mystery Circle. It's kind of like Tetris. Blocks fall down and you solve puzzles. So, I mean, it's pretty much like Tetris. And there's another Parodius game, Parodius Da Shinwa Kara Owarihe. So that one. Um, that's another one. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Parodius games on the Super Famicom. Another game is Poppin' Twin Bee, which is the Twin Bee games were on the NES, or at least on the Famicom. And Poppin' Twin Bee is really cool. I would call it like a cute 'em up. It's a very cute shooter, really fun. I used to have that game and I sold it, so I kind of want to get it back because it was just a really fun. That was like the first Super Famicom game I had, and I modified my Super Nintendo to play it. Um, and it's got the fun like bell system where you juggle it to get power ups, and it's a really good two-player game. As long as one player stays alive, you can keep playing. My buddy Greg who owns a store called Culture Shock and owns a store called Game Bros in LaPorte. Greg was telling me about a game called Rendering Ranger, and so I was like, oh, I need to get it. And apparently, it's one of the most expensive games on the system. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out for it. Might try to fire it up on the emulator or something. Um, I don't know what this one is. Shengoku Denshu. I don't know. It looked cool. Um, I don't know. It just looked cool. Another cool game is Gundam Wing, Endless Duel, Mobile Suit Gundam. So that just looked like a really cool game. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. Star Fox 2. That was exclusive on the system. Of course, they released it a translated version for the Super Nintendo Classic, the little mini console. And then another game that I wanted to check out was Zigzag Cat. So I don't know why. It just looked cool. So those are the games that I'm looking for. But obviously, I'm looking for them cheap. I'm not trying to pay crazy eBay prices. I'm trying to pay like a $10 bin of Super Famicom games kind of pile. Um, I'm kind of into the system for it being affordable and cheap. So, oh, another game I have back there running on the TV, Super Mario Kart. I got that running on the system right now. So, yeah, that's one more that I have in my collection. So, right now I got a nice little collection of like good American games or easy to play. Like you don't need to know Japanese to play them. Definitely want to check out some of the system exclusives though, and also some of the cheaper games. Like if it's a cheaper option, if I can get Hagane for 100 or so bucks and not have to spend 3,000 to get it, I'm gonna do that. If I can, maybe pick up some cheap games like Raiden Trad. I'm sure that like just some of my favorite shooters that are getting priced out. I don't know if Sunset Riders, if I could find that cheaper. So some of my favorite shooting games, Konami games. I'm definitely going to try to pick those up for the Super Famicom. But all in all, it's really fun. I love the system. I like the design of it. I think it looks better than the Super Nintendo. It doesn't have the same nostalgia for me, but it looks really good. And I also I like the controllers with the colors on it. One thing that's weird, I haven't checked, but I think the controllers are a lot shorter. The cables are really short, so it's kind of interesting. The American cables have these kind of 4 foot, 3 foot cables, and the Super Famicom looks like it has like a foot and a half cable. So, anyways, if you got any suggestions, games that I'm missing out on, I'm not a big RPG fan. I'm not trying to translate any games, but anything fun, racing games, maybe our rock and roll racing, or yeah, I'm sure there's some good racing games on the system. Um, Let me know and let me know what to look out for. And of course, if you see anything, any deals on Famicom games, let me know. Of course, what we really need to do, I just need to take a trip to Japan and go game hunting over there. I would love to do that at some point, but not probably in the cards this year. But anyways, that's all I got. So if you liked the video, just comment and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about the Super Famicom. All right, thanks. Peace out.